Hi guys, welcome to Shenanigans and More. This is Alex, your psycho host, Psycho Alex, and this is my beautiful friend,
Jesse.
Hello.
Just some random dude.
I picked him off the street.
Pretty much.
So today's episode is about online dating, and we are going to interview him just about his personal experiences and online dating. And of course, I'll always add a little bit of my own online experiences as well about dating and stuff like that, and how we feel about it, and why are some people so scared of it? It's like the taboo.
It's not taboo. It's just there's a lot that goes into it, and there's a lot of variables coming from the personal side as well as the app side now.
Yeah.
Well, because of the business.
Yeah. Well, originally we're not old, but we're like, where we can still do it on a website, and now they're like actual apps and stuff. So now the apps are the famous ones. But now that we're talking about apps, have you ever gone on a dating app or site? Since clearly we just answered.
Yeah, I've been on quite a few. OkCupid, Woo Plus, eHarmony, which is by far the worst and the most expensive.
The funny part is there's like so many ads for eHarmony.
It was so archaic when I joined. I'm like, this doesn't have a lot of the features that other ones did. Yeah. And by the time they started revamping the entire app, it was too late.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay another $200 something for a year so I can get zero engagement. Yeah.
Oh dang.
I was being told like, hey, if you're serious, you're gonna pay for it.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I am serious, so I am gonna pay for it, and nothing.
Oh my god.
I have zero engagement in that one. OkCupid was by far the best one.
I think so too.
But I tried it again, I think last November, but I think it was because of the holiday season or whatever.
Yeah.
Like it was just like I wasn't
Shit.
really doing anything. Yeah.
So people weren't really engaging. Like...
But to be honest, I want to get off the apps so I can practice being comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. So being an introvert, it's hard for me to talk to strangers. That's something that I've been practicing.
Hi, I'm a stranger, and I literally pulled him out of the stranger.
She did. I came in with like a Dragon Ball Z shirt. She's like, hey, point of contact. But yeah, actually, I practiced that a lot yesterday, and I talked to I think like 4 random people.
Sweet.
So yeah, I'm making progress, and not all women. Just I'm just trying to get comfortable with talking to strangers. Period. Not just.
And I think that is also one of the things that makes it so much difficult is that people always make it weird when you approach another person with the same gender, even if you have no intentions of like hitting on them. Like they're not very open to like making friends and stuff, because I feel like most people are just kind of like.
And I understand that because being an introvert, and I think most people are extroverts. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a research scientist on it, but it feels, and because a lot of extroversion culture is being promoted,
right? So
it feels like introverts are being kind of like left to the wayside when it comes to popular culture and things to do. But it was, for me, it's like I like to keep a small circle of friends, and that's it. Like I don't have the social bandwidth to maintain contact with so many people. And that's something that certain extroverts get offended by. Introverts is like, oh, why don't we talk anymore? It's like, look, I'm sorry, it's not you, it's actually me, and I don't, I have too many friends sometimes. So, but so I try to keep my circle as small as possible, or cycle out people that haven't talked to me in a while, which happens. Yeah. But going back to the dating, so I've also been. Let's see. I mentioned Woo Plus, which is not a very known one, but it's more for curvy people.
Oh, sweet.
Which I was.
I need to get on that then.
which I was one of them at the time. I got 2 dates on that one.
Sweet.
So it was pretty good.
But now you're not so curvy. Now you're curvy because you're muscular.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
It's been like 2 years in the works, so pretty proud of myself for that.
Awesome. I didn't know about that one too, so I know for sure.
Yeah.
Check it out. I've been on OkCupid myself. Plenty of fish, and I almost got married. You
got further than I did.
And then I did the Facebook dating right after. Not like right after, but like after the giving back the ring for the engagement one, and it was bad. It was bad. We'll talk about what happens once you actually go into them. But why or how did you decide to go on online dating? You said somebody actually told you to.
Yeah, so I think at the time I was like, you know what? I'm serious about finding a relationship, and I'm not gonna find it within my friend circles.
Right.
You know, firstly, because I'm an introvert, so I'm not really meeting new people, and the best way to meet new people at the time, I think, was getting on apps.
Yeah.
Because it's so accessible.
Yeah.
But it's a dual-edged sword. So that's why I started getting on apps, so I can actually meet people, talk to people, but I didn't know what to expect.
Right.
And I think I was a little bit too eager, and I thought, you know, once someone likes you, you can start a, you know, genuine conversation and go back and forth. But I didn't know that there was a culture of basically, you know, dance monkey dance, impress me with your first one-liners, which I understand if you're getting hundreds of matches. And
hard.
This is mostly for women, because I don't think guys get
I'm like, it's
hundreds of
hard.
matches. And a lot of them are, oh, hey, how are you? How's your day? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten those. I don't mind them, because it's like, it's hard to start a conversation with a stranger, which is like, what do you say? What do you do? And some, you know, some people, they don't put a lot in their profile.
Yeah.
It's almost blank.
It's irritating. I used to just skip those, because I'd be like, if you can't invest in your own profile to let me know who you are, then that means you don't have a lot of character, and I don't care to.
Yeah.
And I don't care to know about you.
I agree. I mean, but I'm sure there's some exceptions where people are just really shy, or they just don't know what to put.
Yeah.
But the problem is more trying to initiate that conversation, because, and this is something that I've had a lot of problem with, you know, I send a message, nothing throughout the day, nothing the next day, maybe something the next week. And I'm just like,
really?
Okay, you're not really interested in me if you're going to be waiting for a week to talk
reply,
to me.
Yeah.
Or you're just going through a lot of guys, and you're just like, I'm
this
the one.
This one's next.
Yeah, this one's next. So I feel like now, if I ever go back to app dating, which I might, because the book suggested it, and it makes sense why. It's one of those things where it's like, shit, like, what do I say? What do I do? What's going on? But it's like, what number am I now down the line? Am I 45? So I'm just another option. I'm just
You're
like,
too cute. You're too cute. It's so cool, because now I'm inside the head of like the dudes that I would like, you know, look at and talk to when I go on the site, because like it's true about the one-liners and stuff like that, but it's because it's kind of like, so my mom, I was holding this one for a little bit later, but my mom's actually has done online dating as well.
Really?
And the funniest thing is, like, she would be so upset about it, because she would get like, hey, and then she would reply, or like, you know, have some other kind of like, hey, how's your day, blah blah blah, and then that's it. Like, that's all she would get, and then she's just kind of like, okay, why waste my time with the hey, like, because they're not gonna be consistent about it as well, you know, and like reply and stuff. And so to me, when I liked OkCupid, and I just thought of another one, Bumble, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That one was a little intense for me, because everything I was getting was like sex, like, hey, you want to have sex? Hey, you want to have sex?
I'm really surprised.
And OkCupid was more like, hey, you're up for a date, like, we should be able to go out and like get to know each other or talk. You want my number? Because that's one of the things too. Like, the app messaging thing is crap. Mm-hmm. It's always crap. Mm-hmm. It's always easier to like connect with like Snapchat or Instagram or any of the other, or you can actually give them your number.
That's how I see a lot of people try to circumvent that, because it's like you can't see, you know, read receipts or anything like that, or OkCupid makes you pay for read receipts now. Yeah. And I'm like, that's bullshit. You're paywalling everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, they would put, here's my Instagram, let's chat there.
Yeah.
So, but even then, it's...
And it would feel, to me, it would feel a little bit creepy sometimes, because I would put a lot of my stuff, a lot of my personal private life...
I'm very selective.
on social media, and I'm like, I don't know if you want to... I mean, now with the podcast, I kind of sometimes, on my personal, would go open and stuff, but I would be conscious about what I was posting, where I was going, and stuff like that, because I've had stalkers, so...
At least you have them. Actually, no, that's not a problem.
No. You definitely don't want it.
No.
So did your friends and family find out that you were online dating? Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of a weird question to me because it's like, how did they find out? Like, it's like I'm doing drugs or something. I'm like, no. I told them, I was like, hey, I'm trying this out. That's it.
The funniest thing is because a lot of people, and I mean my ex, were super like, don't tell them we're online dating, and that's how we met. And I'm like,
why? That's what everyone's doing.
That's what I said. And
that's like saying, he's like, hey, don't tell anyone you exist. Everyone's doing it. Like, what's the problem with it? Like, okay.
I honestly was so like taken out by it. I was just like, I don't get it. Like, why?
That sounds like they were projecting.
Or we had. So then he had me make a story that we found each other on Instagram, which is still online and is stupid. But the thing was, we didn't think the whole story through because he wasn't actually public.
It just sounds like you guys are two criminals. It's like, look, we gotta get our story straight.
Yes.
For the interrogation.
I swear, that's how I felt. Like, I was just kind of like, okay, but my people know I online date. Like, I'm not hiding it. Did you end up in a relationship with someone you met?
No.
Nothing more than dating?
I got maybe out of the 2 years that I've been trying online dating, I've probably gotten on 3 dates.
Really?
Yeah. It could be that I'm very selective as well. It's not like I didn't get likes.
Let me find my girlfriend.
No. I got plenty of likes. It's just it wasn't anyone that I
invested.
Yeah.
To invest in.
Yeah. So I think I felt like I'm pretty picky because whenever I see my other friends like go through their online dating, they're just like swipe right, swipe right, swipe right. I'm like, why?
Did you even look at it?
Exactly. I'm like, do you even know what you're getting with these people? Like, do you even like them, or you're just trying to
see who says yes?
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna like someone that I genuinely like.
Yeah.
And that's it. But like most of the people that I like never really like me back, so that's why I get like 3 from
the
2 years.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes. Okay, so the next question was how'd you guys meet? Because it was if you had actually been in a relationship.
Right.
And then, as far as that one for me, what happened is, I'm so bad.
Why? No judgment here. I mean, they might judge
but if
you,
he watches it, he's gonna be like, "Oh, you little." So what happened was, we talked for like 2 weeks, and then this is the ex-fiance, by the way. So we talked for like 2 weeks. And then I was on there trying to hook up with another guy who I had been talking to for a little bit longer than that and stuff. He invited me to a rock show, so I was going to go to that. And then something or other like happened where like it kind of, the show didn't cancel. My friend canceled on me and I didn't want to go by myself.
Oh, okay.
So then I was like, oh, then maybe we can like meet up and stuff. So then last minute, I told him that. And then last minute, my friend's like, oh yeah, we should go. I found a way. I found a ride to get to you. I'll just go. Okay, cool. So then I was like, you know what? Something came up. I can't go. Like, I can't meet you tonight and all this stuff. And I was just like, I'm just going to go to the rock show. Because, like, the better, it was fun. And so he's like, oh, well, I can meet up with you later. And I'm like, yo, you can't meet up with me at 2 a.m. Like, that just sounds dangerous.
That's like one of those... personal you up?
Yeah, exactly.
Instead of a text,
Exactly. So then I was like, nah, boo, like I'm gonna be home late. Like I'll see you another day. So I went to the show, I came back, and then the next day he was like, hey, are you doing anything tonight? Like we should really meet up and stuff. And it was earlier, it was like 7 p.m. And I don't usually let them pick me up because you don't really want to know people where you live until like you're good.
Yeah.
And so I like to meet them there, and he's like, I'll pick you up and blah blah blah. And I was really hesitant, like, okay, fuck it, let's go. I already stood him up yesterday, like might as well, right? And so I decided to go. He picked me up and we went to the beach. And like I distinctly remember telling my friend like
where did you guys go? Like
to like Manhattan or something.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So like I set my location and I sent it to my friend and I was like, yo, if I disappear, I was at the beach with this rando, like
smart.
And we even had a code too, like we would text each other like 911s or something, and it would be like call me and tell me there's an emergency, I gotta go. Like,
did you text them name and last name, maybe license?
Yeah,
plate?
a little bit like that, you know?
Right.
Yeah. And I was like, the profile's on the phone. Like, no. But yeah, and I was just like, yeah, I'll be here. And they're like, okay. And then after that, I just checked in. I was like, everything went well.
Okay.
Like, I'm okay. He's kind of cute.
I'm engaged now. Oh, wait, wrong finger.
Wrong finger. Yeah, but it was interesting. I usually like to meet there and in a public place.
I completely agree. That's what I usually did. There was one date that I didn't do that for, and I know everyone warned me, but like, thankfully I got lucky because she didn't turn out to be a stalker or anything.
Okay,
like that.
good.
Like, I cooked. I love cooking, so I cooked. And when she got there, and this is one of the reasons why I really don't like online dating. There's a lot of like, I'm not saying she was a catfish. I'm not saying that. But there's a lot of catfishing. There's a lot of filters going on.
Yes.
There's a lot of like angles and this and that. And she didn't quite look exactly like she did on her pictures. And I'm like, well, okay, this is different.
Yeah.
So naturally, I didn't feel the same way.
It's like the mask reveal now.
Yeah, kind of like I didn't feel the same way, and she was all into me. And when we were having the conversations leading up,
well, you were dreamy to her because you were real. How you looked in your pictures.
I mean, yeah. I don't put filters. I don't fake my pictures in any way. I felt so bad because like, oh my god, like you can tell she was down to fuck.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, but you're so into me. I know that would hurt you. I can't fucking do I can't. Like,
you'll have her lingering around all the time.
No.
It would have been worse.
I probably would have been a bomb ass night of sex. To be honest, like she was
gonna be into it.
She was ready, but I know what that feels like when you're like you feel like you're connecting with someone that you're really into, and for the next day for them to tell you, and then you're gonna feel used. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I just ended the day.
You're cute and considerate because most dudes wouldn't.
Yeah.
Gone for it.
Some of my friends are telling me, like,
nah, man,
I would have won for it. Yeah. And I'm just like, I can't. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And she got pissed. So I walked into her car, gave her a kiss to the cheek, and then she peeled out. And then she texted me, you didn't even want to kiss me on the lips? I'm like, I'm sorry. I felt differently. Like, this isn't, I'm sorry. It is what it is. But yeah, I felt pretty bad for a while.
Oh man. Because it happens though. Like sometimes, not as much. I always have this debate about like, gonna get off topic, but like the cosmetic surgery question that I had brought up to some of the people. And it's like, do you think you'd have to know? And most dudes are like, well, unless I'm having kids with her and stuff. Like, but to me, it's like, what am I gonna tell? Like, if your pecs are real or if your calves are real? Like,
that depends. If your face is real.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but most dudes, if they do, I think they tend to be older, not so much as younger, that they would have something that would be irrelevant enough for me to worry. I haven't met a lot of dudes that do cosmetic surgery.
I don't care. It depends on the degree and how crazy it is, because like, I really want to read into the psychology of it. Like, what's your decision, behind doing this? Like, things like, okay, you got veneers, big deal, whatever, or no big deal. But if you're like doing fat transfers and BBL and you're like tiny waist and huge wide hips and huge ass, like, aesthetically, I'm all for it.
Of course.
I love it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, but what did you look before? Like, and I guess it doesn't matter because it's not like they're going to revert to what they looked like before. But at the same time, there's also the question of, your own self-esteem.
Right, exactly.
It's different from someone who's trying to improve themselves naturally by hitting the gym and changing lifestyles or making lifestyle changes versus someone who just paid for all these
to get it fixed.
Surgeries.
And then like a certain way and not do the work, because that's what I feel like ultimately that's also kind of the gym thing too. Like, you're doing therapeutic stuff with yourself. Like, the more you earn what you're doing to your body, the more that you're going to be paying attention to not just how you eat, but how you sleep, how you like incorporate so much.
And all that contributes. And the also crazy thing is, it's like if they're so modified, I kind of feel bad because it's like, well, who am I falling for?
Right.
You or the changes that you made to your body?
Yeah.
That's why I
and
would.
who you think you are now because of those changes.
That's why I would prefer, someone natural. And I'm not saying I'm gonna rule out anyone who's has any modifications. That's completely fine.
Yeah.
But because it's more them, and they made the changes. It's their own body.
Yes.
It's, their own structure, their own genetics
Yeah.
versus something that's, a bit artificial.
I love it because you're the first one that actually gave me content. Everyone else is just like, well, if I want to have kids and their boobs are big, and I'm like, okay.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
So I was asking, somewhere public, did you meet or pick her up?
Oh, yeah, somewhere. I mean, for most of the dates, we met up somewhere public.
Yeah.
Clearly, I wasn't going to pick them up from their place.
Yeah. Would you be offended if they asked you not to pick them up? Like if
no,
it was
not at all, because it's a safety thing, safety first. So I understand that.
Same way for you though. Like I'd be like, yeah, I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Would you recommend online dating?
That's a tough one, because if you're looking for a genuine connection, it's very difficult to find it online. Even though there are a lot of genuine people on there, there are even more people just looking for, a short time but a fun time, or just a hookup, or, something short term, nothing long term. At the way dating apps are today, I wouldn't recommend trying to find a genuine connection there. I would recommend trying to do it the old-fashioned way.
Right.
Especially because if you do meet someone that you like or you're attracted to, you get to practice those social skills. You know, like a flirting, or just trying to be more interesting. You have a better conversation. Now, technically, yes, you can have that with app dating when you meet them, but I think doing it the old-fashioned way helps you even more because you're there. It's do or die. And then you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, and then, you just go up and you talk to the person. And also, even better, it helps you deal with rejection even more because you become desensitized to it. So I think that's a much productive way to do it, in the sense that you're growing as a person while you're attempting this, versus just swiping left or right, hey,
and then
up?
texting, and then if you don't reply, then fuck you next. And then you
right, and and there's just a lot of things with app dating that you feel free to do that you wouldn't do in real life, because you see the person, you see their expressions, you see that they're not just a picture on an app, they're an actual person. So again, my personal opinion, if you want a genuine connection, try to do it the old-fashioned way. However, I'm not, going to say no if you still want to try and do that during app dating. And to be honest, I was reading this book called Attached, which goes over attachment styles and how you connect within relationships. And one of the things that I was saying for someone who has an anxious attachment style like I do, it was saying, oh, get on dating apps. Talk to as many people as you need to. And the reason why...
As an exercise?
Yeah, as an exercise, yes. The reason why is because I will be better discerning at picking out the right and the wrong people. Because my problem was, oh, I like you, you're cool. We talk for a bit, but then they end up not being the type that I need. And then, but like, I try to double down and kind of like, okay, how can I make them the type that I need? And it's like, no, you gotta learn to be like, okay, that ain't it, move on. Exactly. So that's the practicing. You move on until you actually find the right person.
I feel like it's really cool what you're saying, but I feel like in my personal perspective, the reason why I would try to do online dating so many times before is because I'm an extrovert introvert kind of mix.
Ambivert.
Yeah, but I like to when it comes to trying to ask somebody out, I wouldn't always be as ballsy as I am now. I've grown up a lot. Where I've actually, like, even at where I work, I've come up to someone and say, like, you know, we talk for a little bit and stuff, and like, hey, you want to go out and stuff, and I've gotten rejected. It's been harsh, but you know, and I'm learning my fair share of the rejection as far as, like, you know, you guys go through it so much more than we do. Yeah. But the thing is, online, I feel like I'm a little bit more ballsy and saying, oh, this guy's good looking, like, I'm gonna swipe right just in case. And then if we match, then that, like, hypes me up, because I feel like, you know, if you were there physically and I thought that I would swipe right to you, I wouldn't at a bar approach you, because I wouldn't feel as confident to, like, say that.
So here's the flip side of that coin. So if you're swiping right on a hot dude that, you know, has matched with you, there's some risk factors to that. One, you don't know if that's a fake profile created by the dating app to keep you engaged.
Right.
And then they'll not respond later, or they'll just completely ghost you.
Right.
Two, you don't know that's catfish.
Exactly.
Three,
which is what I'm the biggest scared of, like my biggest fear of, and not so much because of like what catfish is alone, but just like feeling that, like, actually going out and getting that reaction, like you said, about your own experience with that, and just kind of being like,
I mean, and it doesn't have to be a full catfish, like you meet them and it's not them, but rather you know that it's a fake profile, and there are genuine people out there. They just want someone to talk to. Yeah. But they're wasting your time.
Exactly.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not down for that. So a lot of my time was spent sifting through those kind of profiles, and it's just not fun. Versus
sometimes it feels like a waste of time.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you end up saying, I'm not doing these apps anymore.
Versus if you do it in real life, yes, it's a bigger risk of rejection, but you know if they, feel the same, yeah, that's it. You did it. Yeah. But in the app dating, you really don't know. Yeah. Really.
I mean, and then we're also in the life of COVID and pandemic, and everything is closed. And
it was funny because in 2019, when I started app dating, that's when I was like, yes, I'm gonna ramp it up, blah blah. And then the pandemic hit. I'm like, shit. It's like, why?
There it goes. Did you feel worried about meeting a stranger for a date?
No, not meeting a stranger per se. Just nervous about making a first impression. Yeah. But I was a very different person back then. I will still be nervous now, but
more confident.
Yeah, definitely more confident. Because it's like, I want the person to like me for me. I don't want to put up a front or some kind of facade or whatever. Yes. And if they don't like me, they don't like me. Okay, cool, move on. We all have our preferences. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the reason I would be nervous.
I love that we learned that though. It's hard to learn that. Like you said, especially because you're trying to like make it so that they like you, or that they attach like you did, and it's hard because sometimes that's one of the things that I personally look, whether I meet you at the gym or at a bar or online, is like, don't like the stuff I like because you think I'm gonna like you. Like the stuff genuinely, Yep. Like the anime thing, like the whole, like, me telling you about Dragon Ball, like, I genuinely liked it. I genuinely watched it when I was a kid. It was like a thing that I grew up with and stuff. And I've actually interacted with people who try to, and now you kind of test them. And I don't say like posers or anything, like that was not like a kid's thing, but like it's just kind of like, why are you doing this? Like, I'd rather you be you and say I don't like anime, and then we can find other things that we like.
Yeah, because then you don't cultivate a good connection, genuine connections, exactly, between a shared interest. You're cultivating something based on a fake interest. Yeah. It's not real. Yeah. And that's the thing. And this is one of the things that the book Attached goes over. If you're dating someone and you're playing up to, basically you're playing the dating game. Right. And you're not being your genuine self, you're only going to attract the people that are playing games as well. Right. So when you have that high energy and you keep it interesting and all this, it's not a very sustainable tactic, because it's like, you got to be fun and entertaining and this and that all the time. And
your facade only goes for as far as like maybe 3 months, and then you get tired and you don't want to do it anymore.
Shit, that's way longer. I cannot keep that up for 3 months. No freaking way. And the thing, you will burn out, and then the other person will start seeing who you really are and be like, okay, this is not what I signed up for. So it's always better.
So you don't always tip the the
waitress.
The waitress, or like you don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, or the server, because it doesn't have to be female. Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's one of the things. Like, you know what? I want them to like me for me. So if they reject me from the get-go, then that's fine.
Nothing lost. Next.
Yeah, nothing lost.
How long after talking did you ask them out? Did they ask you out? And they never. Oh, you already replied in black. Oh no.
No, I answered the question.
Yeah, but it was in black. I was gonna keep reading it.
My bad.
So how long after talking did you ask them out, and did they ask you out?
Usually I wait about a week or two, depending on how well the conversation is going.
Right.
If the conversation is going very well, I'll like after a week I'll be like, hey, let's go out somewhere. If it's kind of not as good, but it's like going, I'll wait a little bit longer. But no one has asked me out.
Really?
And ladies, I wish you would. Like, I wish you would. Like it, and I don't know where this misconception comes. Sorry, I don't know where
I'm not gonna bite you.
No. I don't know where the misconception comes that men don't like to be asked out, or men don't like women to do the first move. Like we fucking like. Do you know how much hard work we have to put into getting someone to be attracted to us or someone to liking us?
Just someone's attention, period.
Yeah, and on top of that, men, just because we're men, we don't get complimented as much, we don't get validated as much, we don't get almost zero, to be honest. Yeah. And for for most men, they don't get their first flowers until they die. So.
Oh my God, that was so grim and
so
true.
Yeah. So it's like, ladies, it will be a lot easier for both of us if you just approached us.
Yeah.
A lot of us are willing to try things out. So but it's a lot harder for us. So please, ladies, if you see this, try. Get out there. If you want something, go for it. Just like we go for you, go for us.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. I actually gifted my very first serious relationship boyfriend, like after our second month anniversary, I got him roses. And he's like Mexican hardcore. Like,
I hate the month anniversary thing, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was like 17, but.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. Because I'm like, in high school, I'm like, an anniversary means once a year.
Yeah.
You literally can't do a 1 month anniversary.
Yeah. So we were cutesy like that or whatever,
That's
like
fine.
little kids. But he was totally tripping out about it, and like he can't lie, he loved it, but he was totally like the machista thing, of like, oh, you gave me flowers, I'm supposed to give them to you.
I mean,
so this was gonna be fun. Did you ever get any strange offers or requests? What kind? For example, I got asked to be a porn star. I really did. It was actually fun. I got asked to if I wanted to be a porn star. And I also got asked if I was into feeders. Does anybody know what that is?
Feeders?
Feeders. So technically, like, these guys just like...
I'm like thinking like a bird feeder. That's the only thing I know.
No. These guys look for chunky girls or for girls in period that are into getting fed. Like, literally.
Oh! Okay.
Yeah. And...
So like a mukbang, but no one's watching and they just feed you.
They just feed you and... they're okay with you getting bigger and bigger, and that's kind of what turns them on. I mean, something. And I was just
as long as it's mutual, that's fine. Because otherwise, it's
what?
Like,
hold on, what do you want to do to me?
There's a type for everyone.
Oh my!
At least have hope in that there is a type for everyone.
I don't know. I mean, I thought I had seen everything when I did the fetish episode, but I mean, this was a while back. But it was just still like. Feeder? Like what is
I've
that?
never heard of that. Ever. I mean, I've seen like videos of girls just eating and guys love it. I'm like, okay, do you? But I've never seen that in real life or been asked someone to do that.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing I've been asked to be a part of was a polyamorous relationship. And while it sounds fun, I'm just not the polyamorous type. Yeah. Like, especially with another dude. One, I am not going to compete with anyone else. The only person I'm competing with is myself. That's another reason why I hate dating apps, because I'm like, I'm competing with 100 other dudes. Yeah. And it's like, no, like, I just can't do that. But, that's the weirdest part. And I'm just like, part of my mind is like, come on, just try it. Just try it.
It's a once in a lifetime thing. You can just get out of that.
But at the same time, it's like, because I like to think ahead a lot, and it's like, what for? You know how it's going to end. It's like, yeah, it's just a waste of my time, and it's not, it's not me. Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'm moving on. The other weird, well, it's not so weird. It's actually pretty common. You have like a very attractive woman, like, matching you only so she can promote her OnlyFans. And I'm like, and I got pissed at her. I'm like, this is fucked up. I'm here looking for a genuine connection, and then you're just here for advertising. Exactly. Like you're diluting the dating pool for monetary purposes. Yeah. Like, if that's gonna be the case, like all dating apps should just be free, and then just have those type of people. Be your ads. Yeah, just be the ads. Yes, everyone wins.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, those are the weirdest things.
Especially because that was one of the things that I got from my ex when we finally met and talked about the whole experience of like how we're able to filter everybody to find each other, and that was the thing that I told him about, like being asked to be a porn star and stuff, and he was like, well, I would get a lot of like these really good looking women like asking me if I wanted to like pay for sex, and I was like, what? And they're like, yeah.
You mean prostitution?
Yeah, I was like, oh snap, like, yeah. And he's like, they would just like match with you and just like pay for, like, ask you.
That's a new one. I've never heard.
And I was like, oh shit, okay. But it was quite interesting.
Yeah, to say the least.
All right, let's see. We got a couple more questions. Did you make any friends off the dating site? It didn't work out, and you didn't.
No, once we were done with each other, we just moved on. Okay. That's pretty much it. It's probably for the best, to be honest. But unless like you had a cool date and it was a good vibe, but you just weren't like connecting in that romantic sense, but you were connecting in a friendship sense, I can see that happening. Yeah. But no. Really.
I did. I ended up getting, I think maybe more than one turned into a friendship. Okay. But only one did I actually go on a date with, kinda, and then I think he didn't understand what I was there for, even though I was wearing a miniskirt, and he just totally friend-zoned me from the get-go, and I was just like, oh, cool. All right.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what happened.
It happens. Yeah.
So now we're friends. It's totally cool. Do you think people can find genuine connections off dating sites, apps? Did I already ask that?
Or we just no. It was a similar but different question. It was about looking for a genuine connection versus finding one. I know a few friends who actually have had really good success. Yeah.
I almost married one.
But yeah, true. But for the large majority of my other friends and the large majority of people that I've seen, it just doesn't work out very well. Yeah. Because people that play games are there to play games for the most part, and people that are genuine, it's like sifting through a landfill. Yeah. There's just so much fucking trash. Yes. And sometimes there's good looking trash too, but there's no substance. Yeah. And you're just trying to find that one thing that someone didn't know, threw away, that's of very good value, and it's like, oh, I found it, but it's very, very rare.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Yeah. What do you have to say to those that are terrified of dating sites or apps?
Stay the fuck away.
I just read your answer, and I was like,
stay the fuck away. Just don't. I mean,
it's only for the brave.
Like, if you want to get ghosted, mistreated, just, objectified, go for it.
You're
all of you. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to deter you from, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and try it. Please, go ahead. But try not to buy into it too much in terms of money, because it could be a very large waste of money. Yeah. But, there's no harm in trying. But just know going in that it's very difficult to cultivate a genuine relationship or a genuine conversation, things like that. Not to say that it's not possible. It's definitely possible. But like we mentioned before, it's just much harder, much more difficult. Yeah.
So would you still date people at bars or traditional?
No, absolutely. And that's what I'm kind of doing now. I'm working up to it slowly. So again, I'm practicing by talking to strangers. Right. First, and then just going to bars. I don't know about clubs now, but maybe when clubs reopen back up. But I mean, I think a bar or a lounge are better because in a
Yeah,
club
'cause
you're just
club
like
is-
screaming
Yeah,
and yelling.
and clubs is kind of like online dating to me. It's just like you
Yeah.
get what you see, and it might be real, it might not, because those lights are really cool, and
Yeah.
you have those like effects and stuff, and by the end, you're like, oh, this is what you look like. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, sometimes even with makeup
Exactly.
or with what guys have that they fake. They don't fake anything really that I know of. So don't fucking try to kill me.
We're gonna
and say,
quote you on it and have a.
you know, yeah, that's just my limited experience. I don't know what guys fake.
See, that's what I meant with the cosmetic stuff. It's like, it's not like I'm gonna be tripping if you have a toupee. If you pay or like, not like a toupee thing, but you know how now they have surgery for like the head, like to put hair or whatever, like
hair plugs.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, hair plugs are bad and they usually never work, and also they're fake. It's better if they do like a hair transplant, which is your own hair.
Yeah.
It's just now regrowing.
Yeah.
But that's not fake. That's your hair.
But that's exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That men don't really have anything that I'll be like, oh, you faked your mustache, or you know, like I don't really know what I would trip about.
Oh, there you go. It's not fake, but yeah, beards are makeup for men.
Yes.
Pretty much, because some people
You
shave.
take off that beard,
And it's like, no, regrow it.
Oh,
I did it one. Well, for most of my life, I didn't have a beard. Then I grew one. I'm like, oh, nice. And then now that I've slimmed down, I shaved it again one time, and I'm like,
I need my back.
yeah. Come back, please. I can have it up here or down here, maybe both if possible, but I definitely need at least one. So I can't be an egg or a little cue ball, you know, like, no, thank you.
You're too much. Okay. I don't know. Going back to the bars and stuff in traditional ways, I don't really know. I can't remember of like. Oh wait, I can. I was like, I can't remember of a time I actually like went.
So please forget. Please forget. Oh no, no, I didn't.
It was Valentine's Day, and I went to a bar.
The worst day of the month.
The worst day of the year, and I got super drunk and stuff. And there was this guy. He had already kind of interacted with us because some other guys were bothering us, so he kind of went and did the hero thing, you know, and it was cool. But then he went away and was with his friends and stuff, and we were there.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the night, I was drunk. Okay, I'm brave when I'm drunk, but I'm not.
I feel a stupid story incoming.
I smacked his ass at the end of the night.
Okay.
And he like turned around, hella pissed, thinking it had been somebody else. And then he just grabbed mine and like pulled me over, and I was like, "Oh snap, he's brave!" Like, okay,
shit.
Maybe I shouldn't have done that. He wanted me to leave with him, but my friend was like, "No, you're too drunk. Like, let's just go home and stuff." And I was like, "Okay, I'll just go home with you." But besides that, I don't think I've ever really like gotten hit on at a bar or like asked for my number or anything like that. I feel like I'm always kind of like I look too unapproachable or too tough or something.
I've been told I do have resting bitch face, so. But I've never been approached either.
Me too.
I never got a resting bitch face from you, but then again,
Really?
you're wearing a mask, so.
Yeah.
But I don't see resting bitch face from you.
But also I feel like I tend to be super. Well, it's customer service too, but I tend to be super smiley and stuff because of that. Because of that, I have that kind of traumatic.
That's
thing
why
of, like,
I felt it was easier to talk to you because you were open to talking to people. There's some people where they're just like, "Hey, what's up? How's it going? Oh, pretty good."
Yeah.
Like short answers, and it's like, oh, okay, all right.
You don't want to be talked to.
Yeah, and I understand that. You know, that's fine, but it's you know, it's better when people are more like you, or you know, like me. We're open, approachable, even though we may not look like it.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm definitely approachable. I don't care. Like even if I'm working out or if I'm mid set, like most people get offended.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. I'm just like, you want to talk? Okay, cool. I can talk and work out at the same time.
Yeah. And I don't feel totally weird when like people do that. Then sometimes, now that I'm working out and my coworkers approach me, I'm like, I'm annoying. I'm annoying to the people I talk to when they're working out because I'm like, okay, let's do this. Like, can you go away? I'm gonna forget how many I counted. No. How do you select someone to talk to though? Like when you're on the app?
Well, it has to be. I mean, clearly, the first thing is physical. You know, physical or attraction. You know, are they pretty or whatever? And I don't mean by like, are they pretty? Period. You know, there's no real objective way. But it's like, am I attracted to them?
Right.
You know, do they fit my preference?
Mm-hmm.
So that's number one. Two, I look and read at their bio.
Right.
If they have something of substance, okay, great. Even more if they have things that, interests that we both share, even better. And then...
Because you're not going to be like, I like to read by the beach, and then they're going to have a crazy person who does extreme stuff that you are not necessarily
Yeah. And unlike most people that don't read the bios, or the profiles, I actually do. Because, again, I'm looking for a genuine connection, so I want to see what this person is like. Yeah. And also, a very full profile gives you the chance to pick something and say, hey, you like this? That's really awesome. Exactly. I like this too, or I did this, blah, blah, blah.
That's
basically start a conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the big three. And as a dude, we're visual. So we see first, either the physical, the face, whatever. But what gets us to stay, at least for a person that's genuinely looking for something, it's their personality, their likes and dislikes, their mind, philosophy. So it's not like we're all vain and just looking for the outside.
That was in your 20s, perhaps.
My 20s were very sheltered, honestly.
Really?
I didn't get drunk the first time until I was 28.
No way! What? Oh my god.
There's more, but yeah, I was very sheltered. I was sheltered.
I got drunk, hammered, blackout drunk when I was 15.
Blackout drunk? That was 3 years ago. I've never been blackout drunk before until 2019.
Oh my god.
But even then, I only blacked out for a few hours, and then I remembered everything. And thankfully, I didn't do anything stupid. I'm a very responsible drunk, actually.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I almost got in a fight with a dude, and then I stopped myself. I'm like, you know what? You're good. You're fine.
Walk away.
And then I'm like, you know what? Let's go outside because I'm too drunk right now and I'm making stupid decisions. So I just went outside and sat down. And I'm just like, all right, chill, dude. Don't let the alcohol take over.
He ain't worth it.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, I was saying, what do you look for? Then what are you looking for? Not necessarily just on a profile, but what are you looking for
in general?
A connection?
It's kind of difficult.
Hold up. Check it out, ladies. Pay attention. This beautiful man over here is going to tell you what he wants.
So, at the base of everything, these are the non-negotiables.
Right.
You need to be aware and have a good handle on your own internal issues.
Yes.
Because, and this is a phrase that I personally live by, and that's if you don't handle your own wounds, you're going to bleed on other people.
Of course.
And that can get in the way of a relationship very easily. And recently, I have friends that, they started a relationship, but then it just sputtered out of control real quickly because of something that was innocuous that they did, but it triggered something in the other person, and it sent them spiraling. They went through a breakup and getting back together cycle, and it was just terrible. So it's it's important for you to deal with your own issues. Yes. Go to therapy, read some self-help books, whatever you need. And then on top of that,
this is a go to therapy channel, you guys.
Please, it's helped me a lot. And then once you got your issues handled, then you can be in a very healthy relationship as long as the other person is around the same time, same caliber. So get a handle on your own issues. Yeah. Be mature. I don't like pettiness. I am not a petty person. Silent treatment and things like that. Even though that's petty, that's actually a form of abuse because you're trying to manipulate the person to doing something that you want by hurting their feelings purposefully, which is fucked up. Yeah. And it's something that we tend to accept in society because that's just what people do. It's no, it's fucking wrong. But get a handle on your issues, be mature, but also be goofy. Yeah. I love goofing around and being, funny. Intelligence is a huge turn on for me. Vulnerability, being able to talk to each other about anything. I don't care if you have a weird kink. Even if you start, oh my god, I'm thinking about fucking dogs. I'm like, all right, okay. Look, that's very interesting, but get help. That's not something you should be doing.
I'm not gonna bark, but you can think about it.
Yeah, being that vulnerable, I try to be very understanding with people's kinks or interests or whatever, but so there's no judgment here, but like I want that vulnerability because I want to be able to be that vulnerable with them as well. Sure. And that builds trust.
Of course.
And of course, if there's no trust in a relationship, what the fuck are you doing in a relationship? Yeah. There's no reason to be in one.
So toxic, please. Oh, that toxic is completely just no trust and no immaturity.
Yeah. Ambition is also important to me. Someone that wants, and I'm not talking about just career. Mm-hmm. Like, I work, climb the corporate ladder. That's fine. But what I mean by ambitions is, I want to grow. I want to improve. I want to set goals for my life. Yeah.
That are not attached to people or your relationship.
Exactly. Yes.
Or anything, because you have to continue to be individuals.
Yes, and you're basically planning out and building your future, and you know exactly what steps to take and what you want. Because if you know what you want for your future, how much more are you going to know what you want within a relationship? Right. And I know some people that got into relationships and they were wishy-washy because they didn't really know what they wanted. Yeah. So knowing what you want and being intelligent is absolutely very important. So after that, these are the nice to haves, but you don't have to have it. But to be honest,
these are not the required.
It's not required, but it would help a lot. Liking anime, liking video games, technology, or at the very least showing some kind of interest in that.
Just being able to keep up, because conversating about something that you're passionate about and then that people don't have no idea or care for is just kind of like, okay, that sucks. Yeah,
yeah.
It's boring now.
Or even psychology, philosophy. Like I like that kind of stuff. I used to be. I was a Christian for a very long time before I became agnostic. So I know my way around the Bible. So talking about religion and philosophy and all those things, like I love that because one, it's how people think, and especially with psychology, it's like it helps me understand the other person. Yeah. So I love talking about psychology, and some people can handle that, some people can't. Yeah. But it would help cultivate a better relationship if you did.
Yeah. Any specifics that you recommend?
Specifics on what?
I'm sorry. Any specific sites? Or apps?
To be honest,
meet
not
the
really.
Old-fashioned way.
Yeah, meet the old-fashioned way.
I think that's what it comes down to. Just meeting the old-fashioned way, and losing the fear of getting rejected, or finally you being the girl who approaches the dude and being okay with that. I have heard actually from a lot of people that a lot of dudes that would like totally be up for being approached and like asked out.
Absolutely.
And like all that.
And to be honest, I think a lot more people would be in relationships and potentially a happy one if women would actually approach
men.
The
initiative.
Yeah, and take the initiative. Yeah. And I'm not putting, the onus on you guys or anything like that. I'm just saying because we try so much and, the other side isn't trying. If we both tried, we'd probably find what we're looking for sooner. Yeah. That way we can say, hey, cool, you're great, or I'm sorry, it's
and you're honest about what you're looking for. Because then, like, if I were to approach you, or you were to be approached by any other girl, and like right out of sight, you think, oh, like she's kind of cool, and then everything else, like we talk for a second, or we actually go on a date, then you'll be like, she's cool, but not for that. Maybe for a friendship, or maybe not at all.
And that's okay. That's life. You just gotta keep moving on to the next. That's pretty much it. Don't take the rejection or don't take the failure so personally. Because that's what life is. Life is a series of failures that you learn from and move forward. So, don't be afraid to get rejected or fail. And I'm saying that to myself,
as
too.
I learn it.
Because I'm learning it right now. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, he's got it handled. No way.
Don't expect because he looks all over here cute and ready that he has been cute and ready all this time. It's part of the process, and that's why I wanted to have you on here in the first place, was because we had talked about like the experiences and how they weren't always so great, and how things were just not as pretty and perfect as they make it seem on Hinge commercials, or not dissing Hinge, but just saying, putting one of them out there. It's like, it's
Hinge
hard.
Sucked for me. I didn't like Hinge either. I tried it for like a week, and I was like, no.
Yeah. And honestly, it just always ends up being about what you're up for and what you're looking for, and how open you are to checking things out and getting to know people and stuff or not. And honestly, there's a lot of them that are just for hooking up, and if that's what you're looking for, then that's cool. But just know, don't waste people's time who are looking for a genuine connection. And being honest, actually, like in the first couple of messages about what you're looking for, is important, only because that way you don't get your time wasted, your own time wasted. You know, there'll be times where I'll be talking to people and stuff and being like thinking, oh, this is going somewhere, but then you'll just get asked to hook up, and it's just like, that was a waste of time. Which I personally am like, yeah, fuck it, you want to fucking, you know, go on and get it going, if that's all we're gonna get. But
yeah, I mean, like, again, there's nothing, if you want to hook up, that's fine, but there's, and I've been reading recently on psychology of hookup culture, there is a damaging side to that.
Yeah.
So, you know, don't do it too much, because, you know, it's intimacy.
Exactly.
And if you're sharing that with too many people, it's no longer intimate, and it's just like a fun activity. Right. You know?
And I feel that that's what's happening now. Like, as far as connections and people, like, not blaming all the younger generation, like, we're still part of it in a way, but I feel like that's what's happening now, and that's why a lot of us are not, like, staying in constant relationships, and even thinking of the word marriage, like, because I, up until before I actually got engaged, I was just kind of like, I'm just gonna have a partner, I'm just gonna live with them, and if at some point any one of us wants to get out, then we can all get out, and just like, it'll be done with, you know.
No messy divorce.
Or thinking like all of the aspects of responsibility of with the word marriage, whether it would be religious or not, like, you know. And
I mean, I like that idea, to be honest, because legal marriage, I'm not talking about marriage as a cultural concept, but rather legal marriage, it gets really, really messy. And a lot of, like, couples that divorce just end up being, like, really bitter towards each other. I'm like, why can't we just be mature about it and just say, hey, it didn't work out,
especially if you have kids. Like, I feel like a lot of people have to grow up and understand that your kids are a priority, and you can't be petty with each other when you have kids involved. Like, that's just a lot.
Yeah. No, but I like that idea. I'm on a similar path. I do want marriage, but it's like, it's not necessarily the marriage, it's the commitment. Exactly. I just want to know that you're committed to this relationship, either for the rest of our lives or just for the longest time possible. But
see, I had a whole conversation about it with someone before, about because we had kind of the same ideas of like, let's have a small wedding, let's get married, and not do the whole like ceremony and like family and like hundreds of people that don't even talk to you, and you're gonna spend expensive things on them, you know, and stuff. And so I'm open to the idea of like a legal marriage, even as long as it's like a small thing for us, you know, and it's not like out of proportion, because that's kind of how my ex-fiance made the engagement. It was like everybody and their mama got involved on Facebook, and then I felt like a superstar before I even had a podcast. Like, I had to actually make a public announcement and say, the wedding's no longer happening. People raised questions.
Wait, you felt like a superstar for announcing the wedding is not happening?
Well, his entire family and my entire family and friends and everybody recorded the whole thing while we were getting engaged. He invited everybody and their mama. So then when I had to tell people that it wasn't happening, the reason why I had to tell people it wasn't happening is because the most close people who knew it wasn't happening were getting asked questions by everybody else, and they were like, what do you mean it isn't happening? But they just made this whole thing. So I had to publicly announce my family, who was coming from Mexico and saving money to come to the wedding, had to find out that way that I was not going through with it.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
That sucks.
So I feel like if I were genuinely, the crazy part is he told my mom that that's what I wanted, this big engagement and all this stuff. And so she like was like, are you sure? Like, okay.
You dodged the bullet there. Because that's a red flag.
Exactly, you know? something I'm definitely looking out for now.
Mm.
But it was just kind of like, if I do meet someone and it ever gets to something like that, I would most definitely want it private, personal, intimate, and not blown out of proportion.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And stuff like that. And as far as like, you know, being ready to be in a committed relationship that way, of course, the commitment is important, but I feel like it may not necessarily have to be like, it could even be a ceremony that is not even legally or anything like that, like just like a whole our own commitment, you know, and it wouldn't necessarily have to have any other kind of thing behind that. But I mean, I don't know.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Those people who are doing it, props to you, but
I mean, and even that, like, it's no guarantee because the divorce rate is so high.
Yeah.
So actually getting married has lost a lot of its meaning because people get divorced so easily. They don't take it as a lifelong thing.
Exactly.
But that's why, again, it's important to get a handle on your own issues first.
Yes, exactly.
Because then when you do, you're both equipped to
Handle
handle situations, fight through those issues. And by fighting, I don't mean like yelling at each other. I'm talking discussing, being vulnerable, saying how you feel towards each other without being petty or lashing out and hurting the other person.
Yeah.
You know, have a civil discussion.
And being open of what's happening to you. Because I feel like sometimes, at least I've heard in like serious relationships and commitments and stuff, that people who have made it is because they don't just throw it away. You know,
at the first sign of like something going wrong, and the thing is, because of social media,
guilty.
I mean, we're all guilty of a lot of stupid shit. That's the whole point of growth. Like it's not about you not doing stupid shit. It's about doing stupid shit and learning from it.
Yeah.
You know, I've hurt others. I've done this. I've done that. But it's
taking
like,
accountability. To me, my biggest thing from any relationship that I want to be in and coming forth, it's just like, make sure I take accountability for my actions and you take accountability for what you said or what you did, and how we're gonna come together and regroup, you know, fix it and adjust to it and like make it better. And it's not even about being right all the time anymore or things like that.
To be
it's
honest,
about...
fuck being right. It's about mending the relationship. Like, if I'm wrong, I will be happy to be wrong and be like, I am so sorry that wasn't, because if I actually love this person, why the fuck would I care to be more right than consider how I've hurt this person?
Exactly.
Like,
but I feel like those where the problems begin, though, because we are not open to being vulnerable and saying, hey, Jesse, I really didn't like it when you said this to me about my progress or about whatever. And then sometimes we're just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe like she didn't see that I was trying to compliment her, and then like totally didn't take it as a compliment or something, you know. I'm like, well, you fucking did this to me, you know. And then that's where the pettiness begins too.
Yeah. Vulnerability matters a lot because it's something we're very afraid to do nowadays, because
nobody wants to be vulnerable.
No, especially because how people jump at you in social media, and there's just this like, I don't know, it's like people can't be perfect. Like, I don't like the whole cancel culture because, this person did this or whatever 12 years ago. And it's like, bitch, let me dig up some dirt on you and see if you didn't do any stupid shit 12 years ago either. Yeah. Like, it must be, nice on that high horse from your glass house. Like, we've all done dumb shit.
And grown out of it and learned about it.
That's the important part. Yeah. Are they different than who they were back then?
Exactly.
And if yes,
and also just cancel culture in general is stupid. I mean, I can get in trouble and I don't care. I literally just for fun put a disclaimer on the last episode, by the way, just because of Joe Rogan. But I'll tell you about that after.
Oh my God, this guy.
But my thing is, like, I should be able to have an opinion, and I can understand that there's extremes. Yeah. But now everything is extreme for everybody, and and it shouldn't be like that. I feel like, that's just my opinion.
No, I mean, if something extreme happens to you enough times, it becomes the norm. So
so like, but it's just like sometimes the things that they talk about that they can't want to cancel for is just like, really.
I mean, it depends, but if you're spreading misinformation, sure. But anything other than that, like if he strictly, and I don't watch his show, so I really don't know, but unless he says like before starting the show or the conversation or at the end, it's like, hey, we're just bullshitting on here. Don't take this as
Which
medical
is what I'm
advice.
always saying. This is just for entertainment.
Yeah.
This is just my opinion or our opinion about what online dating should be and like how you should live your life. Don't quote honest on anything because we're just lost souls looking for ourselves.
Yeah, we're just friends talking about shit. We're not medically licensed or professional in any
to tell you
way.
don't go online dating or go online dating.
Yeah.
But I mean, have fun.
Yeah.
It's what fucking life is about. Having fun, getting to know yourself, and you get to learn to know yourself actually with these experiences as well. You get to experiment being extrovert and trying to like find out what people like or something or
and how much of yourself are you willing to put out there, versus the trying to have that facade, put that best foot forward. And to be honest, like, while it's great to put the best foot forward, it's also over time, like, don't be afraid to put your shitty foot forward, because everyone's gonna like the things that you like about yourself. Everyone's gonna like the good things.
Of course.
Fucking duh. It's the bad shit that you want to see and say, you know what? I'm willing to work with that.
Yeah.
Which will help you, make the decision if you want to be in a relationship with this person.
There was this thing that I love to say, and I don't think I've said it on this podcast yet, but it's like, everyone is fucking crazy. You just have to find out what you're crazy are willing to work with and take, and then there you go, you found your crazy. But we're all fucking crazy. There's no such thing as like being all perfectly put together and not having something that will drive someone crazy.
Yeah.
But as long as you found something that you're willing to work with, then
no, absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. I'm more curious about seeing the worst side of people than seeing the good, because we all see the good, but it's just seeing that worst that will make it worth it or not.
How do you deal with like crazy situations, or how do you deal with life? And
I can't deal with jealousy. Jealousy tells me you have no trust. Jealousy tells me you have insecurities and issues from the past that you haven't handled yet. And there's no reason to be in a relationship.
I explain my sign.
Oh my god. I'm an asparagus and Mercury is in Gatorade. That shit, I'm like, let me get this straight. We're talking about giant balls of gas in space generating nuclear fusion that are literally light years away have an effect on your personality? Okay. All right. Whatever justifies your personality. Like, it literally makes no sense to me.
Okay, so now we know, girls, we're not gonna talk about our horoscopes to Jesse.
I mean, I'm down to play around with the idea, and it's like, because there's some, but here's the thing, it's all psychology too. That's the thing. Like, you think it's like, oh, you're a Capricorn. Oh, you're gonna have this kind of day and blah blah blah. I'm like, but I had that kind of day yesterday. Or I'm gonna have another day just like this. Like, oh, you're feeling blue and down. I'm like, I may not be feeling blue and down, but there's probably another Capricorn somewhere else that they're feeling blue and down. They're very generalized. It's like going to church. It's like, oh my God, I feel like the pastor was speaking to me. He wasn't. He was speaking in a very general way. I can do that too. It's like, look, if you're a Libra and you're struggling right now, it's like, know that, things are going to get better for you. You're gonna get that job. That money is coming to you today. Just manifest that shit. Like, it's not hard to do. It's not hard, and I'm sure that there's someone where that applies to, and they feel like, oh, you're talking to me. It's like, no, I'm sorry, honey, but he ain't talking to you.
It was pretty general.
But it's fun to talk about, especially when, because yes, I read my sign. I'm like, yeah, I'm basically like that. Okay.
I can't get over asparagus.
Oh, that's an old joke. That's just been around.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's just fun times.
But yeah, the stars in the sky, how an effect on our personality.
Yes.
And I also feel it's a form of escapism from your own personal flaws, and it's like, no, you're just a dick, or you're just an asshole. Stop blaming it on your star sign.
It's funny, but
yeah.
Well, this has been Shenanigans and More, you guys. I hope you guys had a laugh. This is Jessie and your psycho host, Psycho Alex, and thank you so much for watching. Bye. All right. I still feel like I look super weird.
Nah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm on a news show.
I know, right? With the
It's like,
background.
welcome to Fox 11, whatever. It's like, today we have all bad news. So don't get your
Online dating.
Yeah, pretty much.
To crush our dreams of finding a family. No, I'm just kidding.